What's good, people? It's about that time to randomly relate, reverse rants, no hate. Bear with me, people. Aries is a little under the weather, but I want to get this video out, and I'm still okay. So, anyway, I want to talk about Devin Haney versus Linarez. And listen, y'all. It was a good fight. I don't think either, guy need to hang their head down. Things happen in the fight that a lot of times people just act like it's unusual. Devin Haney got buzzed in the fight. He didn't go down. And if he would have, if he would have got back up, continued to fight the same way Ryan Garcia got dropped, you know, um, against Luke Campbell. People praised him for getting up showing heart. You know, he got dropped by Luke Campbell, who was not as good as Linarez. Okay, not as big a puncher as Linarez. Linarez, listen. Linarez dropped Lomachenko. Okay, Linarez has been in there with some top guys. Linarez is no slouch and was the toughest competitor that um, Devin Haney has faced so far. Definitely the most accomplished. Now, when you hear Linarez say him and Devin Haney was supposed to fight 3, 4 years ago, think about this, y'all. 4 years ago, okay, he was 19. 3 years ago, 3 years ago he was 19. 4 years ago he was 18. Okay, he was a kid. Would you guys have made the same excuse for him that people make for Canelo? When Canelo got his ass whooped by Floyd, before the ass whooping, Canelo and everybody else was so convinced that, he was going to destroy Floyd. His youth, too strong. His speed, his boxing IQ, his patience. He has everything that it takes to beat Floyd. After he got beat, he's just a kid. He's only 22. I have to always remind people, Muhammad Ali was how old when he won his first championship from Sonny Liston? 22. How old was Mike Tyson? 21. How old was Floyd Mayweather? 22. How old was Wilfredo Benitez? 17. Devin Haney's only 22 years old. And instead of people saying, I can see his progression, he's not a big puncher. He's never going to be a big puncher. He's just not a big puncher. He has respectable power, though. First off, let's look at something. Linarez said, well, Devin Haney's doing all this extra training because he plans on running all night. And he didn't do that. He stood right there in front of him. The only time he even got on the back foot was in the 11th and 12th, because he got buzzed in the 10th round. Good shot at the end of the round. It was one of those shots like with Marcos Maidana caught Floyd at the end of that round. And, you saw Floyd do that little stumble. But, hey, listen. He got hit by several big shots in that fight. He didn't go anywhere. And he didn't get that same praise that Ryan Garcia got. He didn't get that same thing. He got, oh, yeah, he got a suspect chin. Got a suspect chin. Pause. Well, if he has a suspect chin for getting buzzed, then I guess Ray Leonard has a suspect chin because he's been dropped several times. Ray Robinson has a suspect chin because he's been knocked out. He's been dropped. He's been knocked. He's been stopped. Ali has a suspect chin. He's been dropped. Mike Tyson has a suspect chin. He's been dropped. He's been stopped. I guess everybody has a suspect chin. It can't just be dude got power. He caught him he caught him. And hey, caught him with a good shot. And the thing is, he didn't even go down. Lomachenko went down. He got up and he won, which is the more important. It's like Ryan Garcia getting dropped, getting up, and then winning the fight. Anybody, who does that. Yeah, you give them their props. But why is it when somebody gets buzzed, you act like this is boxing, man? This is boxing. I mean, I can understand these guys are playing tennis and all of a sudden someone just jumps over the net and punches the other guy out. Yeah, that's not supposed to happen. This is tennis, right? This is boxing. You're going to get punched. That's what you get in the sport. You get in the sport. Bottom line is this, okay? If you show me any fighter who can fight a perfect fight and never get hit at all, then that person is not human. Okay, because even if you don't get hit with anything meaningful, you're going to get hit with something. Or that person you're fighting just don't belong in a boxing ring. not just with you, but period. Okay, you're going to get hit with something. Okay, um, it was a good fight. Now, what Linarez did that just kind of pissed on his own reputation. Okay, now at the end of the fight, when you saw them in the back embracing, and you heard Devin Haney ask him how does the speed and power match compared to Lomachenko, right? And they're talking, and he's telling him what he thinks. He's telling him he's happy for him. He's giving him a million hugs, and everything's all good. It's a positive vibe. But then after that, he's getting interviewed, and he's saying, "Oh, I know he doesn't want to give me a rematch. The guy kept grabbing. The referee didn't take a point away, and it's man, this and that. It was just because of inactivity. It was, okay. See, now the excuses point. Ring rust, inactivity. Did you hear Linarez's confidence before the fight? He was so confident. And when you start using words like promise and guarantee, you better deliver. Okay? When it backfires, I don't want to hear anything about ring rust. I don't want anything about inactivity. First off, you have many fighters who have spent time away from the ring. And they'll tell you, yeah, I want such and such fight, but let me get back in there, 2 or 3 tune-up fights, and we should be ready. They'll tell you that. Pause. And that's the best thing for them to do, okay? Don't accept the fight. Talk all this trash. This is the best training camp I've ever had. I'm feeling great. I'm ready to go. I can't wait. I'm excited. And then all of a sudden, it was ring rust. It was inactivity. No, it was everything other than just, look, he was the better man. Okay? All of this trash talking, it doesn't win you a fight. Okay? I'm not Gamboa. He's never dealt with a fighter like me. Let's make some comparisons. Okay? Floyd Mayweather, when he fought Canelo Alvarez, Floyd had 40-something, I think 45 fights at the time, something like that. Canelo had 40, 41, 42 maybe, something like that, but definitely 40, no less than 40 professional fights. Okay? Linarez, his record was 47-4, something like that. Okay? And he's a 3-time world champion. Devin Haney only has 20-something fights. He beat a highly decorated champion, former champion. He's not fighting some washed up, some over the hill, some bum. No. When Devin Haney beat Gamboa, people criticized him. That's when the criticism really, really kicked in. And they said he couldn't beat anybody in the top 10. And, they named Javier Fortuna. They named Linarez was one of them. I remember them saying Linarez do this, him, and all. They named all these guys. See, Devin Haney doesn't have devastating power. He doesn't have to. It's the all-around package. Okay? Like I said, and what he does, he outboxes guys and barely loses a round to these guys. I think he's the best pure boxer out of all of them. Okay? In the division. Now, here's something that I never hear is people say, well, he's only 22 years old. I never hear that. All I ever hear is he can't beat this guy, that guy. He has no punching power. Okay? So again, how old was Floyd when he won his first championship? Okay, from Gennaro Hernandez, he was only 22. How old was Ali when he beat Sonny Liston? 21. 22? 22? How old was Tyson when he got his first championship? 21? How old was Wilfredo Benitez when he won it? 17. Okay, so do you guys, and I'm emphasizing on that because people always have something to say in a negative light about a fighter who's doing positive things and who's trying to make things happen. But because you don't fancy that fighter, it's like, oh, he's no good. I don't like that guy. Look, people, he's only 22. Instead of people saying, hey, listen, man, he's only 22. He's only going to get better. Or, and you never know. Some guys start out hot and then fade fast. Some guys start out a little slow and then mature. And then, look at Lennox Lewis. Lennox Lewis was a good fighter. And then he became an all-around boxer. You know, a lot of people call him a late bloomer. In fact, Lennox Lewis called himself a late bloomer. Okay, um, but there's other guys who started out fast and faded. You know, look at Kid Chocolate. You know, Peter Quillen. I mean, what happened to him, right? Things happen. But Devin Haney, okay, he stood there in the pocket and fought Linarez. So if Linarez said he has no power, he just has speed, well, then you should have been able to walk through and punish his body, do more than what you did. Paulie Malignaggi has no power. That's why people walk through Paulie and knock him out. That's why people can just steamroll through Paulie because he has nothing to keep them off. So if you're fighting the guy and you're saying, I don't feel his power, I don't understand why you're not more effective than what you were then. Because you're basically saying his punch was nothing. It was just his speed. Okay, but if his speed, you nullify speed with timing, okay, and dig to his body. At the same time, he's beating you to the punch. He's out jabbing you. He's right in front of you though. He's not on his bicycle moving. And he fought your fight and still beat you. So, you know, all these things that fighters come up with excuses. There's no way I'm going to embrace you and give you credit if I feel like you were cheating or you didn't come to fight. I'm not going to sit here and tell you I'm happy for you. You did a good job, yada yada, and then turn around and make excuses. I mean, come on, man. Like that just is like, just look, the better man won. Whatever technical difficulty, look, I don't know what I did, okay? But I had a pain right here, all right? And it's funny. I can do push-ups, lift heavy weights, everything. When I move my arm this way, even just to pick up a can, to pick this up, okay? If it had water in it or something, I'd feel like this little pain in here. I'm like, what the hell did I do to my arm? I don't remember doing anything to it. I woke up one day and it was in pain, okay? Let's just say, pause. Now, let's just say I'm even going to spar somebody tomorrow. Why would I go? Let's not even say spar. Let's just say fight. Because, let's say I'm going to go fight somebody tomorrow. Why would I? When I know this arm can become a factor. Because when I move it a certain way, it's a certain pain I get. So I laid off of it. Let me just chill. Let me, get some aid done to my arm and let's just see what happens. Because I don't know why. Like I said, I can still do things, but I know even when I punch, when I snap, I feel like a certain little, it's not a bad thing, but going through a fight where you may get hit in that arm, you may hyperextend it, something can happen. No, you can talk all the shit you want, but when I'm 100% and I get in there, I'm going to kick your ass. And that's just the way it goes. You don't jump in there and then, now imagine I'm going to fuck you up. I'm going to do this to you. I'm going to do that. You ain't never fuck with nobody like Aries. Aries is this and this and this. Then I get in there and then I'm like, well, yeah, I couldn't throw punches because my arm. No, then I shouldn't have took the fight. I shouldn't have took the fight. Devin Haney's 22 years old. Okay. And he beat a 3-time former champion who had way more fights than he's had. And he dominated him. Okay. Because even if you want to say, even if you give the 10th round to because he legitimately, Linarez definitely won 11 and 12. So even if you want to give him the 10th round because he landed the more meaningful shot towards the end, because I didn't think he won the 10th round. I just felt like that was his best round. Going into the 11th and 12th, that was his best round. And regardless, then Devin Haney still definitely won the first 9. Because I couldn't give any rounds to Linarez up until that point at least. Up until the 10th. Well, to start this inactivity, we heard Andy Ruiz talk that same shit. He had just the best training camp he's had. He's learned so much from Canelo and Reynoso and whatever. The trainer and Reynoso. And, you're going to see some new things. You're going to see a different Andy Ruiz, all the weight he lost. And then he's, all of a sudden, ring rush set in. I haven't been, remember they started booing him. Yeah, boo all you want, guys. Yeah, the ring rush. Yeah, it's always an excuse, man. Stop with the excuses. Let's stop with the excuses, man. Look, let's, again, I don't do this top 10 shit and all that. Okay, but if I did have a top 10, top 5, Sugar Ray Leonard would be in it. Okay, Ray Leonard, you know, we saw him fight against Donnie Lalonde, right? And remember, Donnie Lalonde, nobody thought much of him. Donnie Lalonde was outboxing Sugar Ray Leonard. Remember this, right? He was outboxing Sugar Ray Leonard all night. Ray Leonard was in the fight. It's not like he wasn't trying. Ray Leonard was in the fight and he was landing his shots. But Ray Leonard stopped Donnie Lalonde. Now, if Ray Leonard, before I say that, Ray Leonard, the first thing that they started saying about him was, that's the mark of a true champion. True. You're losing the fight, but you don't stop into that final bell. And he kept going, and he finally got the stoppage. Even behind on points, he knows he needs the knockout. He gets the knockout. That's a true champion. Okay. This is the same Ray Leonard that was only 33-34 when he fought Terry Norris, right? The same Ray Leonard was getting outboxed by Terry Norris. And let's not forget, Ray Leonard went after Terry. Terry didn't call out Ray. So Ray saw something in Terry. He thought he could beat him, right? Pause. Now, Donnie Lalonde dropped Ray Leonard. Terry Norris dropped Ray Leonard. Okay? And Ray Leonard kept trying, kept coming. Now, if he would have stopped Terry Norris, you know what they would have said? The same exact thing. You cannot doubt the greatness of Sugar Ray Leonard. He does it again. He's behind on points, but the warrior, he digs down deep, finds that grit, and he stops terrible Terry Norris. But he didn't. Now, if he wouldn't have stopped Lalonde, they probably would have said maybe Ray Leonard should hang it up. He's not the same Ray Leonard. Because that's exactly what they said after he lost to Terry Norris. It couldn't just been that Terry was just a hell of a fighter. It was basically just the fact that Ray's not the same fighter he was. They didn't say that about him when he fought Donnie Lalonde, though. And he was getting outboxed. He was getting outboxed, was behind on points. Same way. Terry Norris was dominating. And then, the bottom line of what I'm saying is, okay, when things are going your way, you're the man. But when you lose, it's an excuse as to why you lost. Things legitimately do happen. People do go into to fights and they're injured. Something's not right. It happens. This is why fighters need to be humble and stop talking so much. Now, again, Devin Haney, Linarez, good fight. I don't think, like I said, either fighter had, well, Haney won. He don't have to hang his head down because he got caught with a good shot. It's just the fight game, bro. You get hit, you keep going. Okay. Linarez don't have to hang his head down, but don't start making, stop the excuses. Just leave it alone. Better man won. Move on. Okay. You start sounding like a straight sucker when you start making excuses up as to why you lost. And, the better man won. Simple. Now, I want to jump on this real quick because I don't want to make a separate video for this. I want to get this out in the opening right now. Ryan Garcia, who's supposed to be out of boxing right now with mental health issues. And I remember two people came in the comment section saying that I was cruel because here's a guy with mental health issues and I'm being cruel on him and being critical. And I basically told you to go fuck yourself because at the end of the day, the guy makes a claim. You don't know if it's true, neither do I. And I really don't care. Okay? Because let's just be realistic. If you have mental health issues, right? Wouldn't it be a classy thing for you to do is say, look, right now, I'm not focused on any opponent. My biggest opponent right now is myself. I'm dealing with some things. I'm stepping away from boxing right now. I need to handle these situations, these mental health issues. And when I'm ready to get back and compete, then you guys know. Pause. Right, you guys know. And as of now, I just need to stick, just get away. I'll be back. Ryan Garcia was one of the first people to tweet something. I would have stopped you. Maybe it's the mental health issues that made him say that dumb shit. First off, if you're dealing with mental health issues, you shouldn't be focused on talking shit, running your mouth. This is what I said a couple of months, last month about Ryan Garcia, because he made the video about mental health issues, but I guess people ignore all this other shit. See, Ryan Garcia got in there with Luke Campbell, got dropped. People praised him for getting up and finishing the fight. Nothing wrong with that. But again, you don't give Devin Haney that same credit when he didn't even go down. Okay? Let's be realistic about this, okay? Instead of the camaraderie being there where these guys can just say, hey, listen, man, good job. Salute to both of you. No, it's always some type of sarcasm, some type of criticism. And that's any of them, whether Devin Haney or whoever it may be. Okay? But here's what I'm saying. Ryan Garcia. This is why I feel like he's full of shit and why I'm not buying his mental health issue bullshit. Okay? And if he if he has mental health issues, the fact that he's showing no class, I don't even care to hear what he has to say. Here's the reality. You were the mandatory for Devin Haney. Devin Haney made it known, I want that fight. Let's do this. You turned it down so you can have an exhibition with Manny Pacquiao, who's not even in your division. An exhibition. You turned down a fight with someone who holds a title in your division, okay, that's also in your generation, in your era right now. Okay? Just how Hearns and Hagler and Benitez and Durant, all these guys had each other. You guys are right there. The fight with Pacquiao, the exhibition never materializes. Then we're hearing that you're supposed to be fighting Teofimo Lopez. Both of you guys, Teofimo said you're next. You said the next fight will be against Teofimo. Then all of a sudden, we don't hear about this. We hear Teofimo saying you and Devin Haney both. And Tank Davis, all you guys need to fight somebody else before you can fight him. Okay. Then all of a sudden, you turn around and there's make an announcement out of your own mouth that you're fighting Javier Fortuna. Pause. After you tell us that you're fighting Fortuna, all of a sudden now, you come with these videos about I'm having mental health issues, trying to look sad and trying to make us feel sorry for you. Oh man, I got to step away from boxing. Right now I'm dealing with some things. Here's the thing. Like I said earlier, if you have mental health issues, the classy thing for you to be humble, step your ass out the spotlight, step aside, shut your mouth up, stop running your mouth about other fighters when you're not ready to jump in the ring and fight any of them right now. Okay? Because the way I see it, you clearly ducked Ryan Garcia, Devin Haney. You ducked fighting. I don't know who ducked you between you and Teofimo, because y'all both shit talkers, and all of a sudden nothing happened. Ever since, Teofimo claimed when he won these titles, you're going to see the best fight the best. He claimed Devin Haney's next after Kambosos and all this shit, man. We'll just have to see what happens, because whenever these big fights are supposed to happen, for some reason they don't happen. Well, so bottom line, the fight never happened with you and Teofimo. Then you clearly duck Fortuna because you have mental health issues. You're busy now. Your words is you have to work on yourself. But yet you couldn't wait to go smash those buttons to type in the fact that you think to tell Devin Haney you would have stopped him. Okay. So get yourself better. Get off the fucking couch. You love beating up on mitts and pads and punching that little fucking stick around. You love doing all that shit, showing your hand speed off and all that, right? Let's see you getting there, and let's see you finally getting there with Devin Haney, with Teofimo, with Javier Fortuna. Let's see you finally getting there with these guys. You beat Luke Campbell, good. You were supposed to beat Luke Campbell, but you passed the test, good. Okay? Devin Haney passed his test. Teofimo passed his test. Tank Davis passed his test. We don't know what's up with Tank because he's fighting Barrios. Is he going to stay at 140? Is he going to come back to 135? We don't know. But this is what I'm saying about, see, this is why arrogant motherfuckers and me don't, like, why I just can't I don't like arrogant fighters, man. I just don't like the attitudes. Like, you know what I mean? I don't know him as a person, and I don't need to know him as a person. But arrogant, big mouth people, they just turn me off because they have so much to say, and they're the ones doing the least. Now you got shit talkers that just talk a lot of dumb shit, like Dylan White. He's a guy, he'll get in there and fight you, but he talks a lot of stupid shit. Dylan says a lot of dumb shit sometimes, and I'm just like, when you're not talking, do you hear like crickets in your fucking head, man? Like the shit he says sometimes, I'm just like, what the fuck is Dylan talking about? Ryan Garcia loves to talk shit and talk like he's the best motherfucker out there. But the best motherfucker he fought was Luke Campbell, and he still have yet to prove shit. So maybe this is why Oscar De La Hoya, maybe it's behind the scenes shit that De La Hoya saw and Ryan Garcia that we don't see. Maybe that's why he was having issues with Golden Boy. Who knows? Because this dude, was having issues and was saying, if y'all don't believe in me, let me out my contract. Remember, he was saying that to De La Hoya, right? So it's like I'm saying, maybe these are the things that he see. Last time we saw you, you were sitting there making these videos like you were about to cry, talking about how you were going through mental health issues. Before that, we saw you with the white shirt, the black pants, the white socks, the black shoes, doing a terrible, ridiculous impersonation of Michael Jackson, talking about how everything is up and up for you, how doors are open. Yeah, you about to get in there and fight Manny Pacquiao. This is your dream and all. And you can't defeat your mental health issues, but your mind tells you you would have knocked out Devin Haney. Well, maybe if Devin Haney would have dropped you like Luke Campbell did, maybe he would have finished you off. Maybe. And this is what I don't respect about fighters who talk shit, but they're not ready to fight. Keith Thurman is back on the mic talking shit. Pause. And Thurman is talking all this shit now, and it's like, all right, Keith, are you going to actually fight these guys, or are you going to just talk about who you want to fight and talk about what you did and what you accomplished? What you did then and what you can do now. Maybe two different things. And the last time we saw you, you got your ass beat by a 40-year-old man that you called a rabbit, and you promised that you would never, ain't no way I'd let a 40-year-old rabbit beat me, and you got your ass kicked. So when you talk about, I'm not afraid to let my old go, like I said, if you can beat me, beat me. Right. Terrence Crawford don't have nobody to fight. You claim you're ready. What's up? What's up? Ryan Garcia. Overcome your mental health issues, okay? Because if you can't, you'll have a weak mind in the fight too. When you start coming on, and all of a sudden the guy you fighting is like, nah, motherfucker. Nah. I'm not locked in here with you. You locked in here with me, motherfucker. I'm coming at you the same way you coming at me. You might have a breakdown. You might realize that you're not as strong as you thought you were. You might just fold up and get knocked out because mentally you're weak. Overcome your mental health issues first. When you're ready to get back in the ring and trade some leather, then you can start calling out Devin Haney and it means something. Start sending contracts, start negotiating. No, fuck getting on there, hitting your little flash mitts, hitting your mitts and hitting your little stick around, punching that little stick in. Yeah, sticks don't hit back. Do all these drills, yeah, hand speed, yeah, it looks impressive, yeah, right. Now let's see you get here and use this shit. I don't respect that, and that's why I say he's full of shit. Stay silent until you're ready to fight. Be humble, always. All that shit talking gets you nowhere. And clearly, yeah, I don't give a shit how people take what I'm saying. Clearly, you ducked Haney, you ducked Fortuna, and you also ducked Linarez because you were supposed to fight Linarez too, and you ducked him too. Let's be real. You ducked Linarez. Okay? You ducked Fortuna. You announced out your mouth that you was fighting Fortuna. And you're sitting back probably hoping Devin loses or Teofimo loses, waiting to seize the moment for you to slide back in and try to take advantage. Who knows what you're doing? End of the day, it was a good fight between Linarez and Haney. Haney did what he had to do. Haney is a solid, skillful boxer with a high boxing IQ. And again, the way he puts it all together, he's a solid fighter. And this is what we need to see more of out of Devin. Devin doesn't have to try to prove he can knock everybody. He can knock people out and try to stand there and bang just to make the fans happy. The people who want to see you stand there and bang are the ones who want to see you lose. You box the way you need to box to win your fights. If people think you're boring, if people, people always going to criticize. You can't make everybody happy. So, salute to both of those guys. No excuses. Somebody got to win. Somebody got to lose. That's just the way it goes. Never fall in love with lies. Remember, the truth brings hate out of people. And I will catch y'all in the next video.